The US dollar is dead. Here's what I mean by that. I don't mean that nobody's using the dollar as of today, but I believe personally that the dollar is on its way out. The US dollar has been a long-standing currency that's acted sort of like a safe haven for many investors around the world. People have chosen to keep their investments in a US dollar denomination because that allows them to protect that investment. They earned a certain amount of value and they store that value within the US dollar. Now, if the US dollar is on its way out, so what are people going to protect their finances with? If we know that, hey, the US economy isn't doing so hot right now, we're potentially seeing a decline in the economy. We believe that we're in a recession. We've had 2 quarters of a shrinking GDP in the United States. We believe that, hey, the dollar might not be around for very long. What does that mean for us as investors? What can we do to protect ourselves in a situation like this? There are 3 main things that I like to turn to when I see something like this going on. It doesn't matter what happens to the US dollar because I'm invested into these things and these things are going to protect me from what may happen with the US dollar. As a bonus, I will also give you guys a 4th one. I'm not going to go super into depth in it, but at the end I'll add a 4th bonus option that you guys would be able to take advantage of pretty easily. So let's get started. Number 1, I want to talk a little bit about gold. So gold has always been like a safe haven or like an insurance policy for many investors. And investors have flocked to gold for decades really because they see the value that gold carries. Gold always keeps some sort of value. It maintains its price fairly well. Typically what we see in times of recession, when the economy is going down, when everything is crashing, gold tends to go up. Gold tends to appreciate because people start flocking towards gold. Now, what have we had going on for the past few years? The economy was at all-time highs. Okay, so that means that there are many more people in the market who are wanting to risk their money, who are wanting to bet on investments that may perform, right? So more speculative type investments. And they're making these investments and they're doing well, right? Crypto was doing extremely well. We had a lot of stocks that did really well. And so people are used to this sort of hot market performance. When they're investing into these things, they tend to just win and win and win and win, and they get conditioned to that. And so nobody's really wanting to invest in gold because it's boring. Right? Gold isn't that expensive right now and it hasn't really appreciated too much. And so everybody's flocking to other investments and gold is kind of left on the side. And it's kind of like, all right, well, yeah, gold's still there. Maybe I'll hold some gold, but I'm not really going to focus on it as a key part of my portfolio. I believe people are still taking their summer vacations. So no matter what's going on with the economy, I believe we haven't even really seen the effects of it yet because we just recently entered officially into a recession. And as we see inflation rise and the price of everything is going up, people are not making more money at that same rate. People typically have maybe some savings on the side, maybe some money that they had somewhere laying on the side. Now they're beginning to tap into those things. And as they're tapping into those finances, they start depleting them. They're not going to last forever. And so they're probably not going to give up their summer vacations, but come fall, maybe September, October, November, once we start seeing those months after vacations settle down, after the summer fun dies down, people are going to start realizing, hey, we're actually in a recession. And I believe that's when it's really going to hit the US economy, and that's when we're really going to start seeing the effects of it. If we believe that the dollar is on its way out, and if we believe that, hey, we might be in a recession right now, what are 3 things that we could potentially have an opportunity to get into at a very low cost? Well, one of those things, like I mentioned, is gold. So gold right now is below $1,800. So it's less than $1,800 an ounce for spot gold. We can get into some nice positions and ride it up. Ultimately, I can't predict the price of gold. I don't know where it's going to be in 6 months or 12 months or 5 years. However, using my 10-year rule, is gold going to be worth more in 10 years than it is today? I would bet yes. That's a bet that I'm willing to take because I believe in the intrinsic value of gold. I believe that it's going to hold its value no matter what's going on with the US economy and what's going on with the US dollar. So it may not be like an immediate effect that we see, maybe not in the next 2 months, maybe not in the next 6 months, but I believe that gold is going to be appreciating over time. Now, the second thing that I'm focused on really heavily is cryptocurrency. That's another one that right now the market is down heavily. Bitcoin is around maybe $20,000, $25,000. If we're buying into these assets now, we're buying in at a discount. And again, it just depends on your belief. Do you believe that cryptocurrency in 10 years is going to be higher than it is today? I personally do. Maybe not every single coin. Of course, you have to execute with judgment. You have to be able to judge a coin versus another coin. Is Bitcoin going to be higher than it is today? All these different coins, they have their own value. They have their own utility. They have their own value that's associated with that coin. And so if we see that coin and we truly believe in that coin and its performance, well, maybe it's wise to add it to our investment portfolio. Maybe we want to buy up some of those currencies and add them to our investments so that, hey, even if the dollar dies out and nobody ever uses the dollar again, I'm still holding value in cryptocurrency. If we're able to take advantage of these things, we're able to then use it potentially in the future if the currency that we're using now is no longer in existence. Is the dollar going to go away completely? Nobody really knows. However, I'm really starting to doubt the strength of the dollar and the value that it carries. The third thing that I'm focused on is real estate. Now, this is less liquid, right? It's a lot easier to sell maybe an ounce of gold or a Bitcoin than it is to sell a house. It has a lot of potential. So first of all, land is limited, houses are limited. Those things are not unlimited. There's always going to be a demand for them. If we're able to hide our money, put our funds into assets like real estate, we secure our funds or our investment amount in that building, in that property. A lot of times that property can actually generate some sort of cash flow for us. So while the dollar is dead, cash flow isn't. Let me tell you, whatever we're cash flowing in, it's definitely valuable. We're collecting that cash flow and we can use that for our expenses while our investment is still protected. So if we've saved up some amount that we want to invest, we can put that into real estate in a very safe place. When we sell the house, of course, we get our money back. It's locked in there. It's not going anywhere. But at the same time, we also have the potential to cash flow from that. There's definitely some guidelines that I would follow. So number one, I would definitely make sure that the house is in a good location. If you're buying a house in a bad location, it's probably not going to hold its value as well. Now, the second thing that I look for is houses where I can add some sort of value. So if I see a house that's in great condition, it's already remodeled, well, to me personally, that's not as good of an investment as a house that I could add value to. So if I can buy a house for cheaper, hire some contractors to remodel it, to make it nicer, I've now added a bunch of value to this house. And so my investment has grown and my equity has grown in that house because I just forced appreciation onto it. Those are two things that I would definitely watch out for before buying real estate. But again, that's a great way to protect our investment and to secure our funds. And then as promised, I have a fourth one. So this is kind of like a combo. It ties directly to the gold one. So think about it like this. If you're planning on buying gold, do you want to buy an ounce of gold? Do you want to buy a kilo bar of gold? Or do you just want to go buy a solid gold watch? Well, a solid gold watch is a lot easier to transport, let's say, for example. So if you needed to transport money somewhere instead of sending a wire transfer, what if you just bought an expensive watch, flew to wherever you need to go or drove wherever you need to go, and now you have all those funds in that country, in that place, wherever you need them. Even if the dollar dies, that watch is still going to be worth something because it's made out of gold. Anyways, guys, hopefully this was helpful. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.